What up? What up? What up? What up, everybody? It's your boy Hollywood, and I bring to you another episode of Nothing's Off the Table, where nothing is ever truly off the table. What's going on, y'all? I'm hyped this one. We hyped. I got a lot of energy. You know what I mean? Got a lot to talk about this episode. So definitely want to get into it. Today's episode, I'm gonna get right into it. Today's episode is gonna be about the Zodiac signs I've dated. Yes, this episode, it's about me. It's not solely about me. It could be about you too, because you could share some of the same thoughts. But these are just my opinions on the signs that I have dated and kind of the traits that I've seen between these signs. I'm not an astrologer or anything like that, but I'm just giving you my experience. That's what this show is about, my experience. Maybe it coincides with yours, maybe it doesn't, maybe you disagree. But I'm just going to give you my opinion on the signs that I've dated. And let's see, we're going to see if some of you feel the same. I want feedback from this one. Like, I get feedback from a lot of them, but I definitely want your feedback. So definitely hit me in the comments, or hit me up on Instagram, YFG Hollywood on Instagram. Definitely hit me up, DM me, slide in my DM. Not like that though, but yeah. So definitely, I'm gonna give y'all my disclaimer. I never start a show without it. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not an astrologer for this one. I'm none of that. I'm just a person that's been through a lot, have a lot of experiences, have a lot of knowledge up here, and definitely want to offer it to the world. That's what this channel is about. That's why it's called Nothing's Off the Table, because we talk about everything. But let's go. So I'm gonna go in chronological order of them, starting at the beginning of the year and work our way to the end of the year. All the signs. So the first sign is, of course, Aquarius. They're from like I think like the February, I think. From the end of January to like the middle of February, something like that. But anyway, I've dated a couple of Aquariuses. Now, the traits that I have, they can be very demanding, quick to agitate. Yes, I'm looking down because I got some notes. Quick to agitate, like things in a very particular way. They can be very creative. Require a certain amount of patience. The Aquarius I've dated, they require, those are all the things. I wrote down like the things the traits that they have. I've had I've dated several Aquariuses. All of them, the crazy part about the Aquariuses I've dated, all of them have ended abruptly. For some odd reason, they all ended abruptly. It was either a situation where we figured out we just don't match, because I'm an Aries. I'm gonna let y'all know I'm an Aries, so we're very confident. We know what we want, but we're also very black and white, and we're also debaters. So we'll debate you down. So I think the reason why in some cases, I don't want to say we're clash, but maybe it didn't work the way maybe we both thought it would have worked, or the Aquariuses I've dated and myself thought it would have worked, is because the fact that we will debate you down. We will never give up on the argument, especially if we feel that we know we're right. We'll never give up. That may not work with the Aquarius, because Aquarius, they want you to see it their way and exactly their way. They have to win. They're debaters too, so they have to win. And they will win at any cost, because they will cut below the belt, they will hit below the belt, they will do all of that. But on the flip side of that, I will say, because my father is Aquarius and my grandmother was an Aquarius, God rest both of their souls. But being with that, they do give a lot of love. Their love is very unconditional. It's very unconditional, but at the same time, there's a lot you have to pour into them in order for them to get to that point. They're very because they're very sacred about their feelings. They're very sacred about their emotions. So if they like you and they love you, yo, you're the dope. You're the dopest person ever. For real, because it takes a lot for them to, for them to like openly love like that. If I'm making sense, like for them to openly be affectionate, so on and so forth. Because Aquarius, they're great people, but they're very hardcore too. They're very that's why a lot of them are very creative, and a lot of them are really successful. Like I'll give you an example, like my homeboys, my best friend, my sister-in-law, his wife is Aquarius, and she's probably one of the most magnificent people I know. But and she's worked very hard, and I'm so proud of the progress that she's made, because before, she was very, I don't want to say ill-tempered, but you get on her bad side, you don't want to be there. Like, you know what I mean? So, but she's worked on it, and once you give them a reason to love, they're definitely loving people. Definitely beautiful people. She's one of my best homies. Like, so, but anyway, we're gonna get into Pisces. Ugh. Not like that. But Pisces, I dated a couple of Pisces. My daughter's mom is a Pisces. What I will say, my childhood best friend, my boy Rev, shout out to him, holla at me. He's a Pisces, but I'm just talking about the ones I've dated. But dating Pisces is it can be taxing on the emotions, because they're emotional beings. They're quick tempered, meaning that they will hit below the belt immediately. If they know something is gonna press your buttons, that's gonna be the first thing they do. They're gonna press that button. because they know they can do it. They require mind reading. Meaning they can know something is wrong. And I know a lot of them, like, this is like women, period. Because I see the memes and the stories on IG and Facebook all the time. If you don't read my mind, it's a problem. Like, from the girls. I know it's a joke, but it's really not a joke. Because like some of you require that. But yeah, they require a lot of mind reading. There's a lot of it's not there's a gray area, I feel, in relationships with Pisces, because they require you to really read their minds, or to be on the same page when you're in a different chapter in the book. Like, you get what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, meaning like there could be something wrong, and the easiest thing to do is just say, hey, this is what's wrong. And you may not have the slightest idea that something is wrong, but they'll believe it's wrong, and then instead of them just telling you what it is, they'll give you hints. And then they'll get upset even after you figure it out, because maybe it took you too long to figure it out. Like, they expect that. And this is my opinion. These are the Pisces that I've dated. It may be different, but they require things, and they're ill-tempered. Like, some of them can be volatile. like I've known some, I know some Pisces that can throw down. Like, for real, they got hands, crazy hands. I know a bunch of them, but you know what I mean? But if they love you, they're just like Aquarius. If they love you, and they might be because they kind of transfer in the same month. They're both in parts of February, but if they love you, they love you. They love hard. They're hard lovers. Like, if they love, it takes a lot for them to leave you. It takes a lot for them to give up on you. That I can say. And once you, and as time goes by, let's say, for instance, if you break up with them, because like specifically with my baby mother, we're like homies now. Like, it's like my homegirl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're cool. Like, you know what I mean? She's married. She has, she thank God. But she's dope. Like, she's mad dope. She's a dope person before, but like, she's dope. Like, she's a dope mother all the way around. Dope individual. She deserves all the love that she gets. Success, everything. But yeah, once they love you, they love you. You know what I mean? Forever. Forever. Let's get to my sign, Aries. Woo! This was actually easier than I thought to kind of, because I've dated Aries. This is easier than I thought, and I was trying to be very objective when it came to my sign, because I didn't want to make it seem like I was being biased. But I'm just going by the Aries I dated. We're very competitive. They're very competitive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anything you can do, I can do better. That this constantly there's a one-upsmanship in that type of relationship, because we're very confident, extremely confident. That was my second point. We don't like to listen. We don't. Any Aries I've dated, they like to beat to the sound of their own drum. They like to lean to their own understanding. We like to hear what we like to hear, but they're very good at giving advice. Very good at giving advice, just not good at practicing what we preach. Not. We are very ambitious. They're very ambitious. Every woman I've met that's been an Aries, they're always embarking on some type of business, venture. I've dated Aries athletes. I've dated just a lot of Aries creatives, and even my homeboys. One of my closest homeboys. Shout out to my boy Jason. He's probably one of the most creative people that I know. He can do everything, like literally. He can ball. He can play basketball. He can. You know what I mean? He's into fitness. My man can fix anything in his crib. He's a girl dad. He's a great husband. He's a musician. He's a writer. He can do anything. Like, if he came to me and was like, "Yo, I want to be an actor tomorrow," I would be with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's that dope. But yeah, every Aries I met is a creative. They will help you under any circumstance. Aries are very forgiving. I'll shed light. And one of my first relationships, like one of my first serious relationships, was with the Aries. And I dated this young lady for about a year or so. And while I dated her, I'm not proud of some of the things I did. I did some very, I was young. I was a teenager, so I did some very cruddy things, and and she forgave me time after time, and time after time, and even times I'm like, yo, she's not gonna forgive me for this, but she forgave me. So we're very forgiving. And usually with Aries, the time that you think that they're not going to forgive you is usually the time that they forgive you. So the time that you think, oh my God, I done did it this time. Like, don't, especially when it comes to love. If we love you, we love you. Sometimes we are gluttons for punishment if we love you. And because we see the greatness in you, even if it's not really there. So yeah, we're very much like that. We're very stubborn. We don't like to lose arguments. We don't like to lose at anything, but we're very stubborn. We can be very stuck in our ways, and we're very apologetic, but to get to that apology it might be a long route. But when we see the light, when we see the error in our ways, we're very apologetic. And these are some of the traits that I've seen in the Aries women I've dated. Fourth one, we're gonna get to Taurus. This is hard. Taurus is because one of my best friends is a Taurus. He's a Taurus, and me and him have never gotten into an argument, but we have we debate all the time because we're very competitive. Tauruses are very competitive. They like to be the center of attention. They like a lot of attention. You have to be very attentive to Taurus women because if you don't, like, they see it automatically. That's one of the things. Words of affirmation, things like that are very important to them. Words are very important. They can be a ball of emotion, very much a ball of emotion. because they hold a lot in. They'll have some things on their chest and on their mind that they want to say to you, and they'll pick probably a time where to just let it all out, and you'd be like, and sometimes for the other person you may seem overwhelmed because you're like, oh my God, like you hit me with so many things at once. And it's hard trying to kind of wade through those because, you're trying, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it could be, you can be arguing about one thing and then they'll hit you with another thing. You be like, whoa, 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 one thing at a time. So they can be very much like that. They're very loving, very affectionate. Once you get past, the emotions and everything like that, they hold a lot in. And they're very forgiving, honestly, like they're very forgiving. I haven't met a Taurus that hasn't been forgiving. Like, I had a situation years ago where I dated this Taurus, and she was she a Taurus? No, I'm bugging. Yeah, she's another side. Forget that story. Yeah, that's funny. That's crazy. But yeah, anyway, like I said before, that was crazy. Like I said before, Tauruses they're very ball of emotions, but they're very loving once you break down that barrier. But also, they don't forget. They check it. They have a list. They check it off. So it's hard for them to forget things that maybe you've done to slight them or anything like that. And you can forgive. You can apologize many times, and you can show them actions. And sometimes they still will bring it up. So that's my situation dating Taurus. That's my experience dating Taurus. The next one, Gemini. Honestly, Geminis get a bad rap. And the story I was about to tell you is about a woman. She's a Gemini. So I'm gonna hit y'all with that story in this one. The story I'm about to tell you is with Geminis, I think they get a bad rap. Because their sign, they say they're two-sided, two-faced. I don't see them as two-faced in a bad way. I just see it as they're very Gemini thrive in chaos to me, and I think that's why they get a bad rap. When chaos is around surrounding them, they don't flinch. Like, so I don't think that's a bad thing because they know how to maneuver and they still know how to make lemonade out of lemons. You know what I'm saying? So that I feel that's one. But I feel like people look at that like, oh, they like to be in chaos. It's just that I may not. Sometimes they're excited by it because they like when things are heated, but a lot of times it may not be that. It's just that they're so comfortable maneuvering in chaos, and I feel that gives them a bad rap. So they're not. I don't look at the two-faced thing. I just look at they maneuver in chaos. Like, you know what I mean? That's a lot of them. That's what they used to. A lot of them. That's what they know. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you start, and when you start to practice a craft, like let's say you start practicing writing, eventually, and let's say it's always noisy when you write, eventually you'll get accustomed to writing in noisy situations. It's just like sleeping in noisy situations. Like eventually you'll get comfortable with it. So it's second nature to you. So you don't think twice about it because you've done it so long. So that's how they are. They get used to chaos. And they thrive in chaotic situations, so they don't flinch, and they thrive, So they can be. This is the one and I think it goes to that two-sided thing, or them being two people, whatever it is, the synopsis is. But they can be very animated, but also be very mellow. Like it's one of the like I've never met a Gemini that was both. Like, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes in spurts. Like, cause I know a Gemini one Gemini woman I dated. She was very giddy. Like, she was very energetic. She was very She had no problem being submissive. She was very affectionate, all of that. Then I dated another one. She was very mellow, wasn't really affectionate, didn't like affection in public, none of that. Very sexual, both. High sex drive, both of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they get down with the get down. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, hit y'all with the will. At the Fresh Prince. But yeah, like, but yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, so they're very, they're very sexual, but they're either mellow or very animated. They definitely play both sides of the fence in terms of conflict, because I've seen situations where they'll say one thing to you and then they'll say say something else to another person. Like, I've seen it happen. So sometimes they like to be on top. They like to be dominant in every situation. So sometimes if it serves them to be the dominant one, they'll do what they have to do. So they're very persuasive. They're very cunning. They're very, very. Cancers. Whew. Cancers are a ball of emotions. I know that's the theme. They don't like to let go of things. Cancers do not like to let go of things. And when they have to address something, they have to address it at that time. It cannot wait. And if you try to make them wait, they're going to show you what it is. They're going to show you that they're not going to wait. They can be very emotional. They can make sudden decisions. I know a Cancer shorty that just up and moved to another country, like in the middle, just because her baby father did something crazy, and that's how we stopped talking. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Cancers are they can be very emotional. They're very, they like attention, but also at the same time, they can be very dismissive of attention. If they're in an emotional state. So cancers are they're very, they lack a lot of love. They not lack. They require a lot of attentiveness, a lot of attention. They're very emotional though, very emotional, and they are hot-headed. Whew. Oh yeah, the story about the Gemini. So, the Gemini shorty, it was a crazy thing. I had the biggest crush on her for all my life, right? Like, well, not all my life, but like throughout, from middle school into past high school. So I had a big crush on her, and she was like the Kelly Kapowski in high school. She was Kelly Kapowski in high school. She was Topanga. She was that chick in high school. You know what I'm saying? So, she was homecoming queen. We went to two different schools, so she was homecoming queen and all that. So, by some chance, I got to date her. I was going through a breakup, and a couple months after the breakup, I met her. By chance, we knew of each other. We started talking on social media, and then it's just cool. But those emotions that I mentioned with Gemini came into play because she was very mellow. She was very mellow, but also she was very affectionate. She was very, she had no problem being submissive and all those things. It just didn't work out. At the time, it was a situation where I wasn't over my ex, and me and my ex got back together. So at the time, so that's what happened. Shout out to her. We're still cool. No hard feelings, and I think she's married with kids. So big up, shout out to you, blessings to you. Secondly, so let's go to Leos. Sorry, I just had to circle back. Leos. Leos are probably my favorite out of the signs that I've dated. They're probably my favorite, only because you know what I'm saying. You know what you're getting at any time. You're never gonna feel like you don't know what's going on, because they're always gonna let you know what's going on. They're very sacred about their space. They're very they're funny. I know, so every Leo I know is hilarious, just hilarious. They they like to have a good time. They're the life of the party. They're very self-sufficient. They're very confident. Um, it takes a lot to gain trust. Takes a lot to gain their love. But once they do, it's the most fulfilling thing because they love you to no end and they trust you to no end. So, at that point, it's only you make the bed that you lie in with them, basically. So like if you do them wrong, it's just like it's something, it's a lot of times it's something within you. They don't have a hurtful bone in their body until you piss them off. You know what I mean? But that's just like anybody. They're straight shooters, very straight shooters. They tell you what it is. They tell you what they don't like. You're never not gonna know with them. You're never not gonna know. Yeah, so, and they're very direct, and they know who they are 100%. Like they know who they are. They don't have issues with confidence. A lot of them. Leos are dope. Leos are dope. They're in my top three. Definitely top three signs. Leos are very dope. Very dope individuals. Even my Leos that are friends, they're very dope. I love them. I love Leos. Y'all get a lot of love from Hollywood. Leos, y'all the ish. Virgos, right? It's a recurring thing. Hold a lot in, but can also be the life of the party. Leo, like I know some Virgos that are like just dope individuals. They're just dope at everything. They're just dope individuals. Like, they are they can do everything. Like my brother's a Virgo. My brother is the best dancer I've ever seen in my life. I was in a dance crew when I was a teenager, and my brother seeing us, he gravitated towards it, and then he's probably like the best. He's the best dancer I know by far, bar none. But they also can be very private. They're very private about their relationship life. They're very you can offend them very easily. It's very easy to offend a Virgo. But the thing about it, it's two types of Virgos to me, because there are Virgos that will just address it, and then there are other Virgos who just be like, nah, yo, I'm just not rocking with you. They'll cut ties in a minute, easily. They'll cut ties with you for the smallest thing. It was a shorty I dated in high school, and I actually took her to my prom, my senior prom. So if she's watching this, it's all love. But I had to tell the story. Don't hit me up with copyright or none of that. But anyway, I'm telling. So basically, in high school, it was cool. She was dope. Took her to my prom, whatever the case may be. We laughed, we had fun. But it was just like, it was something that was missing. She wasn't as affectionate as I would like, because I'm very affectionate, especially back then, because I got a lot of love from my mother, so I was a mama's boy. So if you wasn't affectionate, it was hard for me to really rock with you on a serious level. But anyway, yeah, she wasn't affectionate. She was okay with it. So I will never forget, at the time I worked at Best Buy, and we had bought the Lloyd Banks CD, so you know what time it is. Lloyd Banks' first CD, so this is around like 2004 we were talking, and 2003, 2004, it was around that time. So anyway, I bought the Lloyd Banks CD, but I had got like the limited edition joint, because back then G-Unit used to have the DVDs that came with it, so the limited edition joint, and it wasn't too many, all right? They didn't release too many of those joints. So so it was this particular song on there with Snoop Dogg. She talked about smoking, you know what I mean? But she was a smoker. So basically, she the thing that broke the camel's back, the straw that broke the camel's back, was when she wanted the CD. I told her I was gonna go buy her the CD when she wanted me to give her my actual CD. So I did give her the CD. I bought the CD. When I tried to give it to her, she's like, nah, I don't. She dumped me. She dumped me over a Lloyd Banks CD. So ever since, so now, ever since 4 years, it was hard for me to listen to Lloyd Banks. So yeah, that's how ill tempered they are. That's the meaning of the story. They're quick tempered and they'll cut you off at the drop of a dime if they feel they were wrong, even if it's the smallest thing. They don't take anything they look at everything with a magnifying glass. So yeah, Virgos are hard today. Yes, Libra. This sign is near and dear to my heart. And I'm gonna try to be very objective. My mom is a Libra. God rest her soul. One of my other best friends, he's a Libra. It's my boy. My boy Rico, 5 Minute Buddha. My homeboy I'm talking about, 5 Minute Buddha. 5 Minute Buddha. That's his podcast. Check it out. He also does consultation. He's a masculinity coach, femininity coach. He does it all. So definitely highlight him. 5 Minute Buddha. Go to his page. That's on Instagram. You can check out his podcast. Plug. But yeah, Libras. They're very, 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 very opinionated. Very opinionated. They have opinion about anything and everything. They have opinion on it. They mean well most of the time. Their opinions. They don't really mean you any harm. They're very like Leos. They're straight shooters. They don't sugarcoat anything. They know who they are, and they're comfortable in their own skin. I don't find too many Libras that are they're go-getters, very ambitious. They can also be. I don't want to say have an issue with humility, but sometimes you do have to have a talk with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? There are times just telling them, like, look, this is how I like the particular things, because sometimes they can get wrapped up in how they do things and may not realize, and they might not even know that they're doing it. You might feel like they're ridiculing you for the way that you do things. Because there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? But they might look at you, it's something simple, like where you just have to nudge them and let them know, like, look, you know what I mean? This is how I do it. I understand how you do it, but this is how I do it. Like, so sometimes you have to have the talk. Like, I used to have the talk with this Libra shorty that I dated before. So, because she's very meticulous about things, but they're very loving, and they're always, they're natural teachers. I had it's this Libra shorty I dated, and I met her like a couple years ago, and me and her are friends to this day, and she has her own business, and she's so dope. She's so dope. Like, she's probably one of the dopest Libras that I've ever dated, and she's just cool. But coincidentally, because they're so cool, sometimes they might go through the ringer a lot. Like, they might get the short end of the stick a lot, because they're so. Because even though they're guarded, they're not. Once they let their guard down, it's open season with them. Like, they're very trusting and very loving, and they just want to give. They're givers. So whether it be information, whether it be advice, whether it be money, whatever the case may be, they're givers. So a lot of times they get the short end of the stick because of that. And she was like that. Like, you know what I mean? Me and her, we didn't work out, but we just became good friends. And, you know, she's thriving now. Dope. I be seeing her on the gram and social media. She's doing her thing. Her business is thriving. And shout out, you know what I mean? Shout out to my homegirl Daphne. She's a wedding planner. That's her name. So look her up on, I forgot the name. Ooh, don't kill me, Daph. I forgot the name of her business. But I'm giving you a shout out, and I'm gonna tag you. So show you some love. But shout out to my Zoe, my Zoe, my Zoe queen out there. You know what I mean? Shout out to Daphne. Scorpios. Ooh. Yeah, listen. I dated one Scorpio my whole life, and I can't do it. Me and her are cool now. The girl that I dated, I know, like, I'm like, y'all like, yeah, damn, how many girls you cool with? But like, me and her are cool. Like, they're actually cool people. Once you get past all the extra, because they're extra. They're very extra. Um, they're very competitive. They're very opinionated. Um, they're they're sometimes you can their opinions and their self-confidence, sometimes it can be misconstrued as overconfidence. You know, because they are, they like to be right all the time. And if you feel as though they're not right, they're gonna argue you to the death, and they get enjoyment out of arguing you to the death, especially if you're emotional. If you're emotional, they're gonna chop you up. Like dating a Scorpio is not for the faint of heart. Like you have to be very. It's just like how I said dating Aquarius was. You have to be very direct. You have to be very on point. You have to be very meticulous. You have to be, because there's a certain type of love that they require, and then that they're actually going to demand. They're going to demand that love from the beginning. They're not going to accept less. So they're very Scorpios. Scorpios for me is it's a lot, because it can be very tug of war type of situation. Because I like to be right, they like to be right. Um, Aries, I'm an Aries. I'm very confident. They're very confident. Sometimes it could be overconfidence, and they think their ish don't stink. So, sometimes, but I will on the flip side, because I don't want to bash Scorpios. It's just they're just not my cup of tea. I'm not saying that I wouldn't date one, but it would have to be like they would have to wow me for that to happen. But it's a situation where like my homeboy, or one of my other best friends, my boy G Money, he his girl basically is his wife, and they don't need a ring. They've been together so long and they have kids. She's probably one of the rare Scorpios that I don't have a bad thing to say about her. Like she's so dope. She's dope. She takes care of the household. She takes care of the kids. She's a creative. She's very creative. Oh yeah, Scorpios are very creative. I don't know a non-creative Scorpios. They're doers. They do things on their own. They don't wait for you. They're very dope in that way, and she's definitely one of those. And she's a kindred spirit, like definitely. And I love her soul, and I love her glow just on life. So shout out to her. Tress is by K. She does hit. Tress is by Chris. She does it. We got the same name. But yeah. And then let's get to the next one. Sag. Sages are my weakness. Sages are my weakness. My longest relationship was with a Sag. The sign that I did the most has been Sag. It's not like I go around looking like, oh, what's your sign? All right, we should talk. We should kick it. No, it's not like that. But the signs I did the most are Sages. Sages are, they can be very affectionate once you break down that wall, or once you climb that wall and do everything. They have the biggest wall and biggest barriers up. It's like getting through Fort Knox to get to that affection. But once you do, it could be very fulfilling. They are overthinkers. They overthink. They know everything. You can't tell them that they don't. And even if you know what I'm saying, you prove to them that you're right about something, they still won't give you your full props. They still won't properly admit it. They have a hard time with admitting things. They can be very secretive, and they are deflectors. They are very deflective about certain things, sometimes about how you feel about certain things or how you go about certain things. They're kind of like Aquarius in a way where they want you to do things their way, and if you don't do things their way, they take it as a sign of disrespect. They're always on the defensive, always. But once you get past that, they're great. But the good things about Sagittarius, they're very energetic. Once you get to the affection part of them, they're very much great people. They'll give you a shirt off their back. They're always looking to help in any type of way, and they're very they go hard for you if saying once you get past the barriers and everything, they do. And they're very I don't want to use the word submissive, but they cater to their men. They definitely do. And they're very sexually, they cater to you. Definitely around the household, they cook, they clean. Every Sag that I made, or every Sag that I met can cook. Bomb cooks. Once you get past everything, they're very affectionate. Sex is good, everything. Let's get to the last one, Caps. Man, this one's hard because my daughter, is a Cap. She's Capricorn. So everything I love about Caps is what I think of her. Dating Caps, I've met a couple of Caps in the past couple of years. They're dope individuals. I'm not going to say that they're not, but they're very difficult to date. And a lot of it has to do with their, how can I say it? With their, they have to, I've said this a couple of times with other signs, they have to be right. And even when they're wrong, there's still a possibility that they could have been right, so that's what they run with. They take solace and they take, pride in some of the weirdest things to me. They'll, because sometimes I think with Caps, the certain Caps that I've dated, they want to be loved. It's just that sometimes they don't know how to accept love. And these are just the ones that I've dated. They don't know how to accept love because, but at the same time, they have pride, but sometimes they'll put it to the side when you least expect it. Like, I'll give you an example. I was talking to this one shorty, and she was she was cool. Like, she was dope body, everything. And it was a lack of communication between us. And I approached her on communicating on the communication piece better. But she will also require certain things. I'm not going to go into what she required, but she will require certain things. So it was kind of like, in order for me to get what I wanted, I had to give her what she needed. So sometimes it could be very conditional. It could be terms and conditions in that relationship. But on the flip side, they're very caring. Actually, they're very caring, because if you're going through something, they will definitely help, but they keep it in the back of their mind. Meaning, like, let's say, for instance, if you borrow some bread, and regardless if you pay it back or not, they keep note. They keep note. You know what I mean? And they'll definitely use it as ammunition, like if they ever get into a conflict with you, a conflict of words and things like that. So that's been my experience dating Capricorns. I love them because that's my daughter. My first kind of like my first real girlfriend was a Cap, and I had great experiences with her. It's just that they have a weird sense of humor too. Like they have like this dry sense of humor, but like they're dope individuals. But you have to untuck so much just to get to that dopeness. But they're dope. They're very dope individuals. They require a lot of love, though. They require a certain type of love. They require a lot of patience as well. You have to love them in a particular way because if you don't, it's going to be a problem. They're going to let you know about it. They do temper tantrums, too. They do. They don't get their way, it's an issue. And You know, if you don't see things their way, they don't issue it. They can be very, tit for tat too. So, but yeah, so that's it. But those are all my signs. Those are my opinions on my signs and dating the certain signs. So yo, definitely if y'all got some feedback for me, hit me up, cause I know some of y'all watching got some opinions on it, and y'all probably be like, nah, he ain't, that ain't how we roll, that ain't how I go, like all that. But you know what I mean? Stop it, man. But yeah, but yeah. So definitely holler at me. Next week, 10 a.m. Tomorrow's I'm posting this, so I'm posting this now, 10 a.m. You know the time, every Friday. Coming with you. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm gonna keep going. We're gonna make this thing go boom. We're gonna pop it off the right way. And just hit me up, YFG Hollywood. That's my Instagram. If you have some comments, the link is gonna be in my bio on Instagram. So if you want to watch my previous episodes, same thing I say every week. Like and subscribe. Send to 10 different people. Let's move this around. Let's get this out to everybody. So holla at me, yo. Thank you for your time. And we out. One love.